What's good, YouTube? Quasar here for day 3 of Week of Exodia. Today, I'm going to be showing you Exodia Psyframes. So, of course, you have to play all 5 pieces of Exodia. Now, with this deck, you can win with Exodia, but because you're playing a Psyframe engine, you can still essentially drop your synchro monsters, beat down your opponent, and just win that way as well. So you have multiple win methods. So you're still playing your 5 pieces of Exodia, of course. Next, 3 copies of Psyframe Driver. Psyframes don't work without Driver, just your level 6 vanilla. Moving on though, we play 3 copies of Alpha. Alpha is your main searcher. You drop them when your opponent summons a monster. You get to add another Psyframe except for a copy of itself from deck to hand. So he's really good for thinning out the deck, and of course with all your gears you drop Driver as well. So if you also have the field spell, it allows for really quick synchro summoning. 3 copies of Beta. So basically he's your battle fader. Your opponent would attack, you drop this guy, negate the attack, destroy the attacking monster, and then of course you're going to be dropping Driver, so on and so forth. Then for your level 2 gears, we play 2 copies of Gamma. Negates monster effects, so that's also really good. Stop a monster from going on doing whatever it would. And 2 copies of Delta. Delta negates spell cards, so whatever spell card you don't want activated, you just drop Delta. So essentially the Psyframe engine is just going to help stop your opponent from interfering with you drawing into your pieces of Exodia. But it is also really good in helping you get your monsters on board, establish a strong board, and you can also, as I said, beat down your opponent. So again, you have multiple different things you can do just to win. So for a strong draw engine, we play 3 copies of Card D, of course, because with the Psyframes, you don't want any monsters on board. You can just tribute card and draw 2 cards. Thins the deck, gets you to Exodia, gets you to your other combo pieces. 2 copies of Max C. Max C, you just discard when your opponent would go off, and every time they special summon, you get to draw a card. So that's it for monsters. Moving on to spells. 3 copies of Psyframe Circuit. You definitely need this on board as soon as possible, because this card allows you to immediately synchro summon once you have dropped your Psyframe monsters. And you're usually dropping them on your opponent's turn to nullify whatever they do. And of course, to see it more often, we play 1 copy of Terraforming. 3 copies of Upstart, because 37 card deck, who doesn't like that? 3 Pot of Duality. This helps for searching out your key combo pieces, and you usually not special summoning on your own turn, so that's fine. 1 copy of One Day of Peace, just to thin out the deck, and stops from either player taking damage, so I guess that's not too bad. That's it for the spells. I play a short trap lineup. Pretty much all it is 3 overload, because this card really screws with your opponent and it's really good for stopping them in their tracks. And then just 3 psychic overload, just to help draw So again, because it's Exodia, you're drawing into your pieces as soon as possible, using your Psyframes to stop your opponent from you getting your Exodia. So that is Exodia Psyframes, and because we're playing Psyframes, we have a basic synchro lineup. 2 copies of Omega. Omega is really good. You're level 8. This synchro monster just makes everyone cry, because he can, when he's in grave, you can bring back any other card, shuffle him back into the extra deck, and then target any other card, and then that gets thrown back into the deck as well. Usually you can use your own cards, recycle them, but you can also target other cards, like your opponent's graveyard, for example. If they wanted to soul charge a monster, for example, you can just target one of their monsters and actually return it to the extra deck, so that monster won't get dropped on board, and then this guy goes right back into your extra deck. Also, while he's on board, banish him. Banish a monster from your opponent's hand, or a card from your opponent's hand, I should say. So you get to see what they're playing, see what they have in their hand. They can't use that card. And then, of course, this just gets returned during your next standby phase. And then for the level 7, we play 3 copies of Zeta. Zeta's also really good. Unfortunately, he only targets face-up attack monsters. He can't just target any monster and banish it, but oh well, it's still really strong. And also, his graveyard effect is really good for allowing you to recycle your other Psyframes. One Psychic Life Transfer. Life Transfer is just for gaining a few life points. Thought Ruler, good for, negating your opponent's stuff. 1 copy of Clearwing. Clearwing is really good. It has 2 different negation effects, so that's extremely strong. 1 copy of Black Rose, just to nuke boards. Moonlight to stop level 5 and higher. 1 copy of Scarlight. He is really good for, basically nuking an opponent's board if it's all just special summoned. And he's really good for beating down as well. 3k. And they take 500 for each monster destroyed by that effect. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend. Basically a synchro version of Mirror Force. Stardust Spark, good for just protection. Same with regular Stardust, good for protecting your stuff. And copy of Scrap Dragon. You can target himself, pop another card as well, and then your board is free again, so you can continue to go off with your Psyframes. So thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.